Hey gang, for those of you who enjoy QF, a podcast about Howard Stern, and would like to donate to us just via PayPal, you can, using the email address johnnythegreek21@gmail.com. You can check the link in the description for the spelling, and it's also here on the graphic. And if you'd like to do more in terms of donations or subscriptions, you can use our Patreon account and subscribe via the Black Kluge level, and you can receive our weekly content that we're putting only on Patreon. It's exclusive for that platform. And anything over $5 is just gravy, guys. We love you. Thank you so much.
Now, look, I don't want to get into a long explanation. That's not what I came here for. My audience isn't here to laugh. Hour and a half. I have not taken a break. Spread the word about Sirius. We do not take commercial breaks that often. Let's go ahead to Randy. I don't want to be in a wig and a purse. I do that in my personal life.
I don't want anybody touching me.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm with you.
Sometimes and like, hey,
yeah,
man, what's up?
Yeah, you touch me because you're paid to touch me.
I'm not saying I was the biggest stud, but I got mine. And I fucked some pretty good-looking women way before I was Howard Stern on the radio. Fuck off, assholes. The nose I have now is gigantic, and the fact of the matter is, the reason it looks different on Letterman, which I've explained a million times, is that I keep the camera so far back on the E! Show, and I only shoot from the right-hand side. You wouldn't turn the children against me, would you?
I would try.
She would, too.
She's coming and she's fighting on all sides.
No, but I'd win that one.
I wouldn't even have to do anything. If you ever did anything to hurt me, they would hate you.
I wouldn't hurt you. I just want to go out and have sex with some women.
Listen, by the way, considering what I'm going through, I feel horrible that your smoking hot girlfriend went to a movie without you last night.
And then came home.
Can I say something about that, though?
And then came home.
Let's be honest, though.
when he was knee deep in Johnny Walker Blue.
Well,
It's a bachelor party.
I think it was a good idea for the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think you would have been just as weird if we started at the beginning. You go, oh my god, everyone's staring at me.
Not me. I love it. I love when people
He
stare.
loves to be stared at.
I love it.
Move into Sam's house and get the fuck out of our lives. We'll get Beetlejuice to pick out our shirts.
Get fatter, Harvey. We're more of those fucking things.
Beetlejuice will pick out Howard shirts. You can live with Sam and blow him. You're being a little.
And not only that,
baby there.
No, not only that,
I'm just trying to weigh it
You
up.
can't live without a stylist in your life.
Not only that,
I'm thinking who would be easier to replace?
I think Ralph, of course.
But there's a lot of
the
guys
guy
who
who picks out your clothes.
Chris, could you date Ralph? Would you? You couldn't?
No, look at that smile. He's lying.
You're lying.
Robin,
Tell the
please.
truth. Could you date Ralph?
No.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I
please.
could.
No.
We would have the best time, Robin. I
I couldn't date Ralph.
You wouldn't talk to me.
I couldn't date Ralph, but I could fuck him. I'd fuck his brains out.
Well, maybe. Maybe.
If you
A lot
guys
of people feel that way.
I know Ralph is straight, but all right, now I understand.
All right.
I don't understand. I can't understand gorgeous.
It's a straight place.
No guy. Let me just say something about men. No man
Says gorgeous. Really?
This restaurant is gorgeous.
Okay.
Now, you got to understand something. Guys don't talk that way.
Next time.
Guy goes, hey, it was a good lunch.
And it was sort of set.
Well, the sketch, what the controversy was, it was Patrick Swayze, who's, gorgeous.
Welcome, everybody, back to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm Jim Fix, also known as Fillmore Fingers, that is. And with me for the breakdown is our usual specialist, Raven. Welcome back, my dear. How are you feeling?
Hi, I'm doing great and looking forward to another breakdown with you guys.
And we're going to go back to September 20th. And Sam, thank you so much for clipping all these, my dear. It's we got quite a bit on the menu for today, but we're going to go through it. The first clip, we're just going to play a portion of it. It's called "Big Bustle of Wheat." Wig. There's a lot of hair stuff in this particular day, and it's been a while since we played some, so let's go with it.
I went over to look at myself in the mirror, kind of pull my hair out and see if my shirt was fitting improperly for the camera. In case you don't know, we do this show on the app too, so you can see us. But anyway, but it makes no sense. It's in the dark, the mirror. And so I can't see anything.
He's probably got sunglasses on. I think it makes perfect sense.
Sure does. Oh my gosh. He lives in a dungeon bowling alley and he keeps his sunglasses on. He's got hair in his eyes. His eyes are failing.
No natural light.
It's a comedy of errors down there, and I love it.
He must be vitamin D deficit. Like, he must have none in his body whatsoever.
I can't imagine, like, the level of depletion and how malnourished he is.
I think the castaways on Gilligan's Island ate better.
For sure, he's got a bad case of scurvy, and it doesn't help, his dowager hump and his just his bones are like
osteoporosis.
Yes, everything. Scoliosis, you name it.
Dysentery.
So I was staring at a dark mirror. Like, it's completely pitch black in here. So I think what happened
you're
is
wearing dark clothing, your hair's dark.
Yeah. So I was just like, I think when the guys put the studio together, they were like, well, all the lights are on. Everyone can see everything, but you got to turn all the lights out.
No, you have to turn all the lights off. So we'll leave that one there. The next clip, guys, is called New Dinner for One.
And we eat, and she looks like an angel, and I just wear the same thing. But she, she gets dressed up. I requested a nude dinner. Not me, her. But she's
going to be nude by herself?
Yeah. And I'll just look at her, but she said no.
I think that's one of those things you have to go in on.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's get into the role playing. We've all seen those stupid movies where the girl, like the woman, let's say, she wears just the apron and she cooks for the man. That's hygienic. There's no pH going to be in that fucking food by the end of the meal. Okay, it's real sexy in the films, but in real life, it kind of sucks ass. So, what are they going to eat? What are they going to cook? Who's going to cook? And what is she going to eat at the table? she's got her little like Super Friends bowl with the fucking Lucky Charms in it. That's dinner.
Yep, or some chocolate covered almonds or some gummy bears. She eats like crap, total shit. Pop-Tarts, just you name it, it's garbage. The stuff, frozen pizza, just
this is the thing. When you were, just a real quick question, when you did post-secondary education, did you live by yourself? Did you have a roommate? Did you have roommates?
Yeah, I had roommates for the first 2 years. I lived in a single dorm room by myself. Junior year and senior year, we had a townhouse. So there were 6 of us girls living together. So I had just about every experience you can imagine.
Okay, we've discussed this. Your mother's cooking is we won't talk about your mother's cooking, but you did learn to cook.
Yes, absolutely.
How? Trial and error?
Right. I had, we had a microwave. We had access to a kitchen.
Right.
So you learn to boil water. You learn to, heat up sauce. You learn how to cook meat, ground meat, just the basics. And then you got like meatballs or some kind of goulash or something. But
when they used to talk about engagement chicken or turkey meatballs, I get the sense that everything was just pre-bought and thawed out, and all she did was heat shit up, Beth, if anything.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I
can't believe it.
The engagement chicken is like a step-by-step she ripped out of a Cosmo or something.
It was a Cosmo, and she ripped out the name of the recipe. Then she got busted by someone who called in.
And it's basically one of those all-in-one. You just throw everything in like a big
crock,
either a crock or a dish, like a glass dish, Pyrex.
Yeah, Pyrex.
You throw it in the oven, you cover it up, you cook it. I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour at it, whatever
temp. Take off the tin foil.
And everything is there. It's all like potatoes, vegetables. It's nothing fancy. It's just you throw some basil or some rosemary on it, whatever, to make it fancy. But my God, they made it sound like it was gourmet, but it's anything but.
Yeah, she was Jacques Pepin.
I see better gourmet on TikTok.
Big time. Number 3 is called Pishi Runs.
And I used to be able to run outside and do 4 to 6 miles, sometimes 8 miles. Now I can't run anymore for a variety of reasons. It started to hurt when I peed from running. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, everything you do to try to be healthy now starts to hurt.
That's just wild. Yeah, please.
How much do you want to bet he started pissing himself while he was running because he couldn't control his urethra? and he was having like old man slips, or he'd fart or shit himself.
Oh, yeah.
Something was going on during the running, or he'd have cramps.
Well, I mean, fuck's sake, he's 60, he's 68 now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you start getting into that incontinence thing, like, I don't know when. I mean, my sister was incontinent, I think in her 40s, and she was not embarrassed at all about it because she's like, well, look, I didn't do it to myself. It wasn't because I took some fucking incontinence pills or I ate incontinence chicken and bam, I got it. So, but he certainly doesn't want to hear that. But I bet you the number one reason why he can't run anymore is bone related.
Oh, right. It goes back again to, his brittle condition that he's put himself in. He has not taken good care of himself. So shame on him. That's what he gets.
And I'll post that question to all the QFers who still run and still jog at various ages. You don't have to put your name. I mean, obviously you don't have to put your personal information, but in the comments, tell us your age, if you're a runner, if you're still running, and if you did, when you stopped, that kind of thing. Because I'm curious. I used to run a lot when I weighed a lot less, but I was worried eventually about my joints causing trouble like later on in life. So I'm just curious where you guys all stand, because some people will jog until they're fucking 90. Excuse me.
A lot of times, people that were athletes in their youth lose the ability or their mobility as they get older, and I know I can speak for those people because. Yep. I played sports all the way through college, and then the knees just gave out. So running wasn't an option, but other things were, and I kept those going great. Mm-hmm. So also, everybody is built differently with different genetics, but we're talking about a 68-year-old man who's been kept as a veal, who hasn't done much, who wasn't on a team, who never did sports as a kid, who never really worked out all his joints and muscles. Right. And he still looks like a flabby piece of shit. He never got definition. He never was ripped as much as he'll say he was. All he was starved from food, so that he thought he had a six pack, but those were his ribs. Yeah. Those were not a six pack. No. So yeah,
they're the bottom of bottle caps. No, what the the thing was, he paid for a trainer. He had money. He had access to people with nutritionists and whatever. And I think in the end, whatever they made him do, even that, like the Private Parts, the original Private Parts book with him and the two girls, like Tempest and Amy Lynn or whoever. I think that's not him. I think that's photoshopped. I think that's someone else, as well as the movie poster, obviously. But I think it's all photoshopped because he could never maintain anything. Because I think he starved himself his entire life. He just did. They said, you got to eat this, and he refused because he was just afraid of looking fat because that Marfan thing and just weird body dysmorphia. It's just so fucked up. Number 4. Thank you, Sam. Sorry about my wig today, Robin.
Who cares? So, yeah.
Drink.
I don't know. I gelled up my hair and did my usual thing, but some days, it's like kind of hit and miss. It's pot luck. So I apologize for you having to look at me like this, but nothing I can do about it. I tried my best. You know what I mean? You always look good.
Okay. Number 5, I wear my sunglasses at night.
In the dark. I'm wearing sunglasses because whenever I put on regular glasses, I don't know what it is. I look goofy. But if I have the shades on, I look a little bit cool.
Okay.
Well, I
have a real question here. What kind of fucking idiot doesn't know that you can get prescription sunglasses?
Well, it's the tint that's the problem. He can't see anything. Remember you talked about him going to a movie and watching it with his sunglasses and complaining how dark it was?
Yeah, Avatar.
He doesn't like the clear glasses because then it shows his crazy eyes.
Yes, of course.
So this is him just being, a big pain in the ass, bitching and whining.
Yeah.
But there's different ways around this. There's also contacts, but he's never gone to contacts. That's never been an option. God forbid. Or laser. What about laser surgery? He's never considered that as an option with all that money and how good the technology is.
These days, yeah. But the thing is, he's never been honest about what his real problem is with his eyes. It may not be correctable. And if that's the case, well, okay, he's stuck. But at the very least, he could get semi-tinted lenses, and he's run the gamut. If you've seen him over the years, he's had some glasses that he wore on the air that were clear. They were fine. And then he's had sunglasses that with a little tint. He could easily compromise, but he's just fucking idiot.
There's some that go dark when you go outside and some that stay clear while you're indoors.
Yes.
But those aren't an option, I guess, either. I don't know. He's such a 79.
He needs those fucking Geordie LaForge things. So, number 6, I can't see or read, but I look good.
In the sunglasses. But it's absurd. I can't read anything because it's so dark in here for my sunglasses. I mean, I'm wearing sunglasses indoors. I got to come up with a good excuse that I'm light sensitive because like Ratso used to do that. Remember Ratso?
Yeah.
Ratso always wore sunglasses.
He's like a vampire who's light sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
He's somebody that just needs to hide. He's always hidden behind Photoshops or lies or these big oversized coats, scarves. Everything is smoke and mirrors for this guy to make him appear like he's more ripped or more buff or whatever, skinny. I don't know. He wears all black.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer and 100-degree weather, but oh well.
He's like the fat guy that, props himself up against a building corner, and then takes a selfie with half his body missing just so you don't get the whole dimensions. Right. Except for him, he's never been like a big fat person. It's more like, okay, I'm really ugly. How do I cover this? So the stringy hair, the shitty hair, the oversized collars, open shirt, whatever, anything to distract from his face or his body.
Yeah, plus you add in all that plastic surgery. So sometimes when he's healing, he's got to hide from that. So who knows if there's makeup going on, the lighting, the hair, the angles, all the microphones and computer screens in front of him. That's going to be a good saga when we get into all the
body dysmorphia stuff,
superficial changes he's made to himself over the years, the different wigs,
all styles.
The surgeries, you name it, the clothing,
The chin implant is the one that I want definitive kind of evidence of before and after. We got video over the years, but then after a certain point, when was the surgery? When did it happen? Is there a difference? If you think and I know you do think he had chin implants, when do you think that was? AGT years?
I think probably I'd have to go back and double check, but I think post Private Parts movie, pre-AGT, that was the first one. I think he's had multiple.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's just one. I think there's at least 2, possibly 3 as a fix or just a little shaving because it starts to jut out more and more like that Jay Leno chin.
Totally.
And at first, he couldn't have anything too obvious like he did with his nose because that was blown out of the water right away. But I think the nose has been fixed or shaved, the Adam's apple, the chin. I think there's probably injections going on in the cheeks to pull the skin up a bit so it doesn't all sag because his jowls magically disappeared over the years.
Yes.
And his whole face is distorted. So if we just took a recent one and then one from the 80s, it would be amazing.
And for that one, it would also be require getting super high definition photos of whatever paparazzi shots of him more recently to get an idea of, let's say, scars. I don't know how many surgical scars you get from some of these surgeries, but they have to exist, and hence why the stubble covers a lot of that up.
The stubble for sure. Also, maybe we could put it out there that anybody that works in the plastic surgery business,
good idea.
Contact us in a DM or in the comments.
Yeah.
If you would like to help track his facial changes over the years and possibly determine, more better than we can. We're not professionals. That's not my area.
No.
But I think it would be a fun dive to go into. And if there's anyone out there willing to do some of the work on tracking him over the years, that would be phenomenal. So
just
it would be it out there.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting because we do something about almost every aspect, and why not that as well? Because eventually we will go into that whole food thing, him and not just him, but him and Beth as well. And Robin's yo-yo diets, that'll be a fun one. Jesus.
This is all that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I go, Ratso, what's with the dark glasses? He goes, oh, I go, you're trying to look good like me.
All of a sudden, Ratso sounds like Ray.
He goes,
Yeah.
No, I'm light sensitive. Very horrible, very light. I go, oh, okay, sure.
Okay, so everybody's lying. All right, fair enough. Number 7, 79 doesn't do. 79 does nothing for himself. 2 aging queens fighting over technology. I remember this one.
Yeah, but you don't need to turn it on. Your DVR should you should set it so that it records the show.
Like you did that.
Of course I do.
Are you don't crazy? Do anything. You
what do you
somebody to do that?
Well, okay, but in other words, I have people, and so do you. Just you can advance record it. You don't have to go be there that moment.
This is totally like my mother asking me how to work the VCR.
I love it when these two go back and forth. It is so telling of how far gone they are. And all the help they need to do just the teeniest little things in life.
All of a sudden, he's got Ray in his head. I've got my mother going, Johnny, how do we record the dynasty? Shit, here we go.
Record it?
No. I said it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And then I forgot that it was there.
Oh.
Because I got busy doing something else.
Got it.
Oh, Lord. The next clip, this is a topic that also begs a little bit of digging, and Benjamin would be great for this one because he's got such an encyclopedic knowledge of back then as well.
Right.
But this clip is called "I Started the E Channel and More Lies." Now, if you go back to the E, everybody, it's true that he was a big presence on E. It's not he started it, and certainly he was responsible for some of their popularity. I think that's the one where I can't disagree with him.
Yeah, I got some tape of that.
That is hysterical. Everybody should watch that.
I'm not too thrilled with what happened to the E Network. I should say we started the E Network. If you remember the E Network years ago, doesn't matter anyway, all those networks are going away. Can you believe how little TV stations are worth now?
If it doesn't matter, then why are you bringing it up? Right. What it is he wants to go back to his glory days. And again, E Network, the big things on E back in the day, like I remember in my teen years, like 16, 15 years old, the Talk Soup was one.
Yes.
Also the E News, that was the Julie Bowen shit was first and foremost. Then when he started getting in with E, it was like Wild On and Paradise and all these sort of pseudo reality type things that were going on, and but there were a whole host of shows that were starting. Mysteries and Scandals, late 90s with the AJ Benz. I remember that one.
Right.
So it wasn't, like I said, he was part of a collective. You wouldn't say Howard Stern was responsible for their popularity, but when he was popular and if he was on that network, it would have drawn viewers. Absolutely.
Yes, and this was at a time where the Girls Gone Wild videos were popular that Joe Francis started.
Yep.
So it was late night TV where you could kind of have like the blurred out tits and ass.
Yeah.
And his show at that time fit perfectly.
Yes.
So it became sort of like this late night, just like debauchery, kind of like creepy guys jerking it off to young girls they could never get, and just like, I unfortunately was privy to a video in my father's collection of the Girls Gone Wild. Rest in peace, Dad. But you know what? That man was horny to the grave. So God bless him. He never lost his juice. And yeah, I guess that's a good sign for the family, Yeah.
A
lot of so Wiggy basically jumped on the backs of Joe Francis at the time, who was a heavy advertiser on E late at night.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, Paradise with Tara, what's her name? Tara Reid.
Yeah.
Oh, what a train wreck that was.
Oh, that was entertaining though, because it was all about Licky's so hot, and this was her at her zenith. She was the Lindsay Lohan before there was a Lindsay Lohan.
You just took the words out of my mouth. Thank you so much. Perfect.
Yeah. And but they're both yachters now, anyway, as far as I know. Poor things. But
right.
Yeah. Next clip, guys, is called "More Lies." Number 9. More lies about E Network.
I think they might have fired us. Or maybe
I think they decided they were going in a different direction or something.
Like a normal direction. And they were like, we don't know. You know what it was? They were so lame, the E Network. They had no one had it in their home. Right. And as soon as we came on, everyone had to have it.
Okay. If he's talking about the early interview show, I believe, I can't remember the exact chronology. We have it in the Colford book. Do you recall this time?
No. See, those were the years where high school, high school was, and college was like 87 to 95.
Okay.
So that's the time period here that we're talking about. 87 is when E started. So I kind of lost track of him because those nights I wasn't home on the weekends. I was lost in the universe somewhere.
Well, okay. So like I can hold on 1 sec. I'm going to check this out. Guys, we did a little research on the fly just to check about what he was talking about, because as we were saying, there's the E interview show, which only lasted a year from 92 to 93. And those episodes can be seen on YouTube. A lot of them anyway. They're pretty cringeworthy. Like most of his TV appearances. But then he had his E show that ran from 94 to 2005, and mid 2005, July 5th or so is the last episode. And around that time he starts talking about it, but he was dumped by E in the 6 months leading up to going to Sirius. Right. 5 months. And so we looked it up, and here are the shows that they basically started in 2005. E Hollywood Hold'em, The Entertainer starring Wayne Newton, Fight for Fame, Filthy Rich Cattle Drive, The Gastineau Girls. I don't remember that.
Kim Kardashian was a friend of one of the Gastineau girls, who was her dad was a football player.
I figured they were Mark Gastineau's kids, but I had no. Jesus, that's awful. Yeah. Mark Gastineau appeared on Dick Cavett with Howard. He was a fan. Oh, that was really gruesome. The Girls Next Door, that was the Playboy one with Hef's girlfriends. Kill Reality, Party at the Palms, Taradice, and Taradice we just mentioned before. So clearly they had him replacements lined up.
Right, that fulfilled the TNA part of the late night show, where guys could still get off to hot girls, and Howard would seamlessly not be missed.
Well, he was getting phased out because the following year, 2006, when he goes to Sirius, then all of a sudden E starts getting a lot bigger. So The Simple Life, the Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton one, that was huge.
Right.
And that debuted. Child Star Confidential, 7 Deadly Hollywood Sins, House of Carters. I remember that was pretty big for a heartbeat. The Daily 10, Love Ride. And then Chelsea Lately, the Chelsea fucking Handler bullshit from 2007. Keeping Up with the Kardashians was massive. It only ended a few years ago, didn't it? Or 2 years ago even?
For some reason, I think they did 20 years, which would bring us... No, they didn't do 20.
They did 20 seasons.
Well, that would be 2027. Are you time traveling that I don't know about?
I'm not. Keeping Up with the Kardashians, 2007 to 2021, June 20th. They just finished last summer.
That's 15 years.
It says 20 seasons, so there must have been some. I don't know how they're counting that, but either way, yep, season 1 to 2, 2000. I don't know if maybe what happened was they tied up a bunch of seasons because there were only so many episodes, and then they combined them so that 2 seasons was actually one year. You know what I mean?
maybe it was 3 every 2 years. Who knows?
Something like that, because the way they film those is not the same as they would film like a regular sitcom or what have you. So either way, here's a clip. Right. We could play the clip, but we're not going to. I do have it, but we're going to go into it. 7/22/05. This is summer. After the break, Howard played blah, blah, blah. Okay, Howard talked about how his E! show came to an end recently. Robin Rudzinski held a goodbye party last night, but Howard didn't want to celebrate that it was gone. He said that he had he said he had something else going on that night, but Rudzinski kept it on the same night. He didn't think that he said he didn't think that it was all that positive, and he didn't want to celebrate it. And he'll be talking about his departure from E! in a couple weeks. He also said that it's not the end for them because he may be back, but maybe not on E! But they'll be back. So that's obviously, he got dumped by the network.
Such a king baby.
Yeah.
Could not handle losing that income stream and those marbles. So what does he do? He takes his marbles and he goes home.
And hires the E! crew to work for him. A lot of them anyway. They left to go with, and they unceremoniously dumped them after 7 years. Mm-hmm. So loyalty is not high on his, fucking astrology chart. Let's play the rest of that clip out.
So they basically went from like being on in 50-something% of the country to like 90% of the country using us.
The nature of shows, King Baby, you fucking idiot, is that you have a rise and fall. You have a shelf life, and then they move on because they want to change the lineup. The other thing is, if you become too big for a network, or if you become too expensive or too much of a hassle, they know they can replace you. So, and they'll go with the quality. And if they want TNA, they don't need to put up with your shit. They can just hire people for cheaper and get away with it. So that's key. So number 10, Wigtardo doesn't know where he is and will fail an IQ test.
It's literally two rights and a left. But when I have to reverse it is when I get into trouble. And she goes, okay, let's see if you can get home. And then I inevitably make the wrong turn. And she goes, you're kidding me, right? You're just putting, and I go, yes, I was joking. And she goes, well, swear on the life of Bianca you were joking. Bianca was our dog. And I go, I'm not going to do that. And then she goes, oh my God, you really were you have no idea where you are. I go, I don't know where I am.
Do you know anybody with this bad skills of direction, bad set of direction ability?
Only my children, because they're on their phones all the time and they didn't realize all the places I was driving them around to half the time. Yeah. But once my son got his driver's license, then it was like, okay, he's like, I can name these roads. Yeah. So he learned. And that was at 16. He became aware of himself, not knowing stuff. Yeah.
So different than when we knew every street. We were memorized it like it was the Torah growing up, because we had friends lived all over town, so you kind of had to.
And I would have to ride to half my friends' houses on my bike if I wanted to get there. So I knew every shortcut. I knew all the back roads.
But you also need. Yeah, you need to know the stores, like the corner stores, if you needed to get something, because there wasn't a 7-Eleven just anywhere. Sometimes it was mom and pop stores back in the day. It's it's funny. He's such a hapeless piece of shit.
Such a deal.
It's like I think I'm an idiot.
It was one time we were walking back to the station.
I got lost.
That we worked at every day. And we were standing across the street from the building.
Yeah.
And I said, Howard, do you know where you are?
I'm telling you. But do you think?
No.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not going to, you can't blame that on bad vision. He's just literally a dumb fuck.
Who doesn't give a shit.
Yes.
He knows that everyone is going to handle him and get him where he has to be.
Right.
He doesn't care to learn. It's too much.
He's handled. It's like, what is that movie? I think it was called Lucy with, I liked it actually. It was a Luc Besson film with Scarlett Johansson where she takes some drug and it enhances her brain capacity so that she can she can get superpowers basically. Her brain function increases. This would be the opposite. Lucy, and he reduces his brain function after taking something.
Yeah, it becomes mushy.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper, same thing with Limitless. He did the same thing where he took a pill and his brain becomes like super developed. And Wiggy is like the Benjamin Button of brains.
Yes.
You know, he goes from old to young.
Now they do say as you get older, I mean, you lose some brain cells, but I mean, it's not like it's not like he's stuttering John and he's been drinking, for the last 50 years and that's why his brain's gone. It's because it was never that big to begin with, and then it's only getting smaller.
Yeah, and he's watching like the lowest IQ TV possible. So
big time. That's not help. You're not challenging your brain. Yeah, exactly.
He's not doing crosswords. He tells you he might play a chess game here or there until he gets his ass beat, and then he, throws the board across the room, and then that's it. So
he's just like that GIF with the guys playing with the Roomba, and the Roomba just collapses all the pieces.
Yeah.
That's why I won't take an IQ test. I'm pretty sure whatever that aptitude is that you have to get back home and to have some sort of sense of direction, that I have none. So like, even if I do well in English or sort of, like common sense, once I get to the portion where you kind of have to find your direction, which I'm sure there are questions like that.
Are there questions on an IQ test about how to get down the street? I don't remember that.
No.
By the way, the reason why he doesn't take an IQ test is because he's had his IQ tested and he knows it's low, and he said it on the air. I don't know why he's going on about it.
Let me just repeat this for anybody who wonders why we call him a 79. It's because he got an 850 on his SAT. And the 850 translates to a 79 IQ range. All right. So 850, like you get 700 no matter what. And most people, come away with like a nine something or 10 something. But this is our billionaire who has fallen into greatness with money, and for no reason other than he knew the right people. He stole the right things.
Yes.
And he had the right people around him.
Right. And the internet wasn't around to prove he was full of shit.
So now that none of those people are around him and he's all on his own, especially during the pandemic, by himself in his house where he won't allow people in to help him produce the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're seeing the true 850 or 79 come through.
Yeah. And I think I was going to say that recently on Twitter, I posted about basically it was one of our Colford episodes, and Carol Cheney, she retweeted something I posted, maybe just a link, and I mentioned about how he won't admit it was something along the lines of he won't admit his influences, which is something most people would do. And I said, well, he stole from Alex Bennett and Bob Grant, and Steve Dahl liked the comment. So
wow.
And I remember thinking, I'd love to get Steve Dahl as an interview. So if you're out there, Steve, and you're listening, let us know, because what I really was looking for was the original calls Steve Dahl made at the Bijou that Howard ripped off. And I have now, thankfully, thanks to one of our buddies on Patreon, I have access to that memory lane stuff and even older clips. And one of those includes the calls to the Bijou that he made, which was a complete ripoff. Let's see the next one. Number 11. I must be a genius, though, Robin.
Yeah, I'm just like, maybe I'm a genius, and all I see is big picture kind of things. Like I painted yesterday, and I realized, look, I'm painting here on a pretty high level.
Yeah, and a half.
Kindergarten students paint. Are they geniuses? If you put a bunch of paint on kids' hands and tell them to touch the paper, they're now officially painting.
No, but he is cheating. He's cheating at his artwork. So we can't count any of this.
No.
Please keep going.
Most people can't do that. So I must be somewhat intelligent. So I can't. Maybe I'm just so filled with ideas. I mean, a lot of the day I'm thinking about.
You want to go through it.
I'm sorry. The more you say a lie, the more you're going to believe it. So that's why he keeps telling us all these painting concepts and ideas. Sure. But yet those paintings are like 3 inches by 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
6 by 6 at most.
Okay.
Or the concept of him, he has painting coaches, tutors. But there's so many ways to cheat around this nowadays, but nobody calls him on it. He has to post pictures of himself with tons of paint out and like just, fiddling around with a painting. Like he's done all the work and now it's just, I'm just going to touch this up.
Right.
But it's such bullshit. And he always has lied to us. So why would we believe him now?
Yes. What we're looking for is the TikTok video or whatever app would allow you to stream live and then replay the video, that you can see him doing it from scratch.
Right.
Until we see one of those videos without, and showing him with a, a sketch, like a sketch pencil or whatever he's using that particular day, we're always going to believe that he's full of shit because that's what he does best, lie.
Yeah, I haven't seen any proof.
Yeah. And we've uncovered there are apps now that are like projectors so that you can add a little attachment to your phone, and then they basically project the image you want to draw onto the, let's say, the table, and then you put your paper there and literally just trace as if you have that onion skin paper over the picture like we used to do sometimes as kids. And the concept is the same. And you think he's beyond that? You think he's not? You think he's above fucking cheating? Oh my God.
He probably needs a cheating tutor for the app.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
A radio show and what I'm going to talk about. So.
Yeah, I guess you're not observing anything that's outside of, what you're thinking, because the building we worked in was a pretty iconic building. It had a special look. And I was like, He doesn't recognize that building.
I know when we went to Sirius, I was shocked to see that we were across the street from Radio City Music Hall. I didn't know I didn't know that. And
he lived in New York how many years? Doesn't know anything?
He's been around New York City his whole life.
Pretty much.
His dad brought him into the city. Nothing stayed in that pea brain of his.
Yeah. And can you imagine? I mean, yes, New York changes, like stores change, they come and go, like signs change, labels alter and what have you. That's fine. I'm not talking about that. But blocks don't change. Generally, stuff stays up. And you find landmarks. That's how you get around. And this fucking idiot, this no mind, has no sense of direction. I'm sorry, that ain't just that's brains. Go ahead.
It's all because he keeps everything about himself. Nothing is outward. It's all inward.
Yeah.
So it's, listen to me or look at what I'm doing. But it's not, hey, look at that.
Yes.
Oh, what's that?
Right.
Dad.
Because he's not interested in that.
Nothing.
Why do I have to know where I'm going?
And I should have known that. But
that was the thing. We were at a corner where Radio City Music Hall was right there, and our building was right across from it. And I said, "Do you know where you are?" And you said, "No."
No. In fact, when I started working at America's Got Talent, they moved it to Radio City Music Hall, and I wasn't sure how to get from our building over there.
Fucking idiot. I'm dying to find the clip I found. I had it years ago, and I know I still have it somewhere. But Robin said she was in a car with him, and he was driving, and he started crying because he didn't know where he was going. Okay, so next clip. Sirius doesn't give a shit about Grandpa Stern's ideas.
In a meeting, and I said, I don't think management cares about my ideas. Because I have good ideas, I think. Maybe I'm just a pain in the ass, but I was like, the other day I was on Beth's Instagram, and we had a cat that we loved, and we said, let's broadcast live. So on Instagram, you hit a button, you're broadcasting live to your followers. It's already been invented. I said, on the app, I'd rather go on Sirius's app and do that kind of thing than.
Never.
Not the 360 app that never existed. Now, I want to give kudos to one of our QFers. Just one moment. So I want to give a shout out to Michael McStrick on our Facebook group, and also loyal QFer, who's been in touch with me about specifically the advertising SiriusXM has been doing the last little while, and I'll include a screenshot. He sent me a picture of a brochure. I can't remember if he was renting a car or buying a new car, but either way, the picture in question, it was a SiriusXM trial thing, platinum plan.
Okay, so the first picture is Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
The second one is Hoda and
Gail King?
It's not. No, Hoda's on the right. I can't. The girl on the left, I know her from the Today Show.
Okay.
She's been around forever. Let's see.
Okay, but then Carrie Underwood is the next.
Carrie Underwood. Then you got U2.
U2, Dua Lipa, or whatever her name is. Oh, no, Megan Thee Stallion. Jesus
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and
either
then
her
MLB.
or Sweetie. And then the MLB radio.
That's right. Okay, so that was that one, and I asked him, let's be certain that it's not a legal thing, that they can't advertise Stern on a trial package if they don't actually get him, because that's false advertising and people would get in shit. And he looked, and the platinum package is supposed to include Stern. When he opened the thing, there's Stern, first on the left on the insert, but why not on the front page? Unless you know that that's not one of the things that's going to draw people. And they do know. They have the metrics. They know he's not pulling in any new listeners, and he's barely pulling in any old ones. So recently, he gave me a screen cap of this reminder of an email. Confirm your email, and you've got 3 months free service on the SiriusXM app. Which is, and then in this one, again, Kevin Hart, left to right. Kevin Hart, LOL Radio. Dua Lipa on SiriusXM Hits. Maren Morris on The Highway. I don't know who the fuck that is, but I'm sure just another
singer,
country singer, I guess. Mad Dog Sports Radio, and U2 on the far right. So again, and I looked into the platinum whatever bullshit thing and it shows you, if you go to the website, it gives you a list of channels, Pandora stations based on artists. So because they did buy Pandora a while back. SiriusXM video, whatever that is, archives, including access to the exclusive Howard Stern video library. But again, he's not featured first. He's featured like almost as an add-on, right?
Yeah, he's number 4.
Yes.
Right before Andy Cohen.
That's right.
And it's saying podcast and archive shows, but you have to remember those shows go away. Well, I've noticed that they only keep up the last 4 months. So you can't go back more than 4 months.
So you're saying there's no way you're getting at, let's say, 2009?
No, of course not. You can go back just this year for 4 months, and they expire. If you don't watch them while they're up, it'll say expiring soon.
Wow.
He leads people to believe that you can watch the whole show live, and you cannot.
No.
All you're getting are clips.
Yes.
The same thing they post on YouTube, which is free, or the same clips on there. And now there might be a couple other things, like you can see Richard and Sal, some dumbass old stuff of their ass and dick, but that's blurred out. It's you're not seeing all of it. And honestly, do we really want to go back and look at that stuff?
No. Well,
if there's old Beetlejuice stuff, yeah, maybe.
Sure. Well, they had access to those older shows, and they did highlight them sometimes and show them on Howard TV when they wanted certain, look back at the past weeks, look back at past episodes, whatever, just bringing it back because people wanted to see it. But the only reason to not offer older shows is because they don't want people like being able to listen to all that nasty stuff. And it's way easier to just close access than to edit all that old shit.
Again, it's like they're the laziest, worst run corporation ever.
Yeah.
So God forbid you give access to your fans or your subscribers stuff that you have for the next however many years until 2027.
Well,
you own his catalog.
Yeah. Well,
but
even
you
on
won't give it to us, so we can't get what we want.
Sorry, even on the Howard Stern Hey Now page, which is funny because there's still people like devoted to him, which I find fascinating. There are people that constantly, I see the same comment every so often from different people. If only they would just offer the old shows on the channel, I would pay more for it. I would pay an extra something to see those things again, because a lot of those people, look, not everybody has the knowledge to go look up like torrents and shit like that and download like I do. And I get that. I'm not pissing on that. But if there's a market there, why not take advantage of that? Because the reason why is he doesn't want to get Rogan. What Rogan is going through right now, he could easily happen if he was still relevant, but it's not going to happen because, well, he isn't. That's my only takeaway.
Well, even some of his recent stuff is questionable, honestly.
Sure. The Ching Chong stuff, for example.
Yeah. And the stuff he has his staff talking about or doing. And like when George Takei had the Naked Choir in, or he was feeling up Jason Ellis. Things like that are not okay nowadays.
Oh, God, no.
And they know that. So it's been scrubbed, and, well, you're going to pay top dollar for nothing. Big bag of fucking nothing.
To the point now where if you want some of those shows, like some of those old Howard TV shows, you have to go on like Pornhub, which is where a lot of them end up. Like a lot of them get uploaded to whatever jizzmonster.com or whatever the fuck, whatever they're called. I don't know.
Yeah. If you want to see my namesake, where I got my name from, the original Raven Alexis, who was a porn star.
Yeah.
Yeah. She rides the Sibian with Dave Lambert, the creator. That's all on there. But, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not her, guys. Stop asking. Stop texting me. I'm not her. I only stole the name because we get the poison out here, and that was a tagline from that bit. So that's why I stole it.
You know what the problem is? You're still alive. Jim Fix is dead, so I don't get that. I don't get anyone asking me about joint pain and the proper trainers and shit.
Give content to Instagram.
Right.
I said, how come I can't hit a button and just start broadcasting from my house with a camera? So I think Sirius should have that ability. That's the thing I'm pushing for in the company.
Fucking idiot. Yeah.
He's such a coward. Howard the coward.
Yeah.
Right? People come after him. People die over the weekend. He could easily pop on and do a show and send out a bat signal on YouTube. He could get
Twitter.
notifications put on Sirius for people who are subscribed to Howard.
Yes.
You could sign up for notifications to him if he was going to do that shit, but he's not. He lied about all this stuff that he wants to do it. No fucking way. You think he wants to be woken up at 8 p.m. in the evening to come on the radio and talk about Bob Saget dying or Norm Macdonald? No fucking way.
Nope.
That man is paid for certain times and those times only. And we're never going to get more. We're only going to get less as time goes on, which, hey, I'm kind of all in favor of at this point. Mm-hmm. But last year he did 97 shows. And up until then, he had been doing 112. This year, I'm curious to see if we're even going to hit 97. I'm thinking it might be 87 this year. We'll see.
Okay, let's see. Maybe it'll be 79. So let's continue.
They respond in any way?
Nobody cares. I mean, they care about a lot of stuff, but they don't care about me. I mean, they care about me, but they don't care about my idea.
Just don't give us your ideas. Is that what that?
Yeah,
be here, but don't give us your ideas.
It's like, it's Stern, just concentrate on your radio show. Don't worry about the technology.
Jesus, they'd be grateful if he would for a moment concentrate on his show. And in fact, the other thing is they know that the only thing he's good for, number one, is stealing ideas, and second of all, it's not like he's going to dip into his pocket to make his show better, saying, "Let me commission the app," or "Let's make one," whatever. Remember Howard 360? Never happened. Whale Rock, all bullshit. He announced it. It was well after Howard TV was off the air, and they decided, oh, okay, well, this isn't worth it because no one's actually going to pay to see your fucking ass. And when they do see you on video, you're covered by a monitor or two monitors and a microphone. What are they seeing? There's no point anymore. The Naked Men's Choir.
They might as well start putting like filters on, like, the glaze that they can do or the smoky stuff in the background. They might as well put that on him or just put a curtain in front of his fucking face.
VHS glitch. That's such stupidity. I don't understand the news, Robin, is the next clip.
MSNBC in the morning, but I've got this thing called Sling TV. Yep. Do you have that?
Yeah. I see the logo there. I could get it if I wanted it. Why did you use Sling?
I don't know, records a bunch of shows I like, and I'm right on my iPhone, and I can just sit there and eat my yogurt. And
do you remember the old days, the beginning of Sirius, when they were still selling stilettos, and he would say they get pissed off when I mention the iPhone? He goes, they gave me one to listen to the show.
Right.
They wouldn't even give them their own product to listen back to their own shit.
No.
What an indictment of your own fucking company.
Watch MSNBC. Now you're saying, yeah, but I could do that on my TV, but it's just simple because I have it with me on my iPhone. I don't have to turn the TV on. I don't have to hear Beth going, oh, it's so loud. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I use
It's
a couple of apps because I want to hear the national news from, all these streaming services. So I have a few that I watch.
This is our fantabulous newswoman who has all these news apps, but never gives us any accurate news when she does bring up anything.
Yeah, which isn't really often.
She gets half the shit wrong. And then other stuff, she's like, what? I didn't hear about that. How did that happen?
Yeah. This clip is called Name Drop for Netflix, and it's all about Sarandos, the guy who will not give him his own show no matter how much he claims he doesn't want one.
But Norm was just a monster. Ted Sarandos, little name drop, of Netflix. Everybody wants to be friends with Ted Sarandos.
Well, of course,
but including you.
Yeah.
You who invited him to the birthday show and wanted him to pick it up based on that, and then maybe a new video service, but it didn't work out because no one fucking gave a shit. Asshole.
But
somehow Ted got his photo, Wiggy's photo, hung up in his office. That part I don't get.
Signed photo. I think he just literally received it. It was a Marcy thing. Let's autograph a thing. Put it behind. Let's pay $500, have it framed, send it to his office, however much that costs, and make him think he's a big shit. And then yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. How funny would it be, like, if Ted took that picture and then immediately took it down and like threw it in a dumpster out back on fire?
Or he had a shredder.
It's like, okay, next photo. Yeah.
Well, he said, like, and that someone has asked, will you ever do that show? And I'm like, no, it's 4 hours. It's a big fucking waste of time. There's segments of it that might be worth going over, but it's such a piece of shit. And the other thing is, like, Weinstein is in that audience. There's a couple cutaway shots of Weinstein.
Matt Lauer. There's a bunch of degenerates that attended that we could pick apart. And then there's always, Beth getting drunk. Right. The way that she looks at Marcy when Howard shouts out Marcy at the end.
Right.
There are some things, and there's great photos of Beef hanging on Steven Tyler, Bon Jovi, different people during the show. I don't know if Bon Jovi was at that one. I might be confusing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It was like, because Rob Zombie's band was there. But one of my favorite was, I believe it was Steven Tyler who posted the picture on Twitter of him, Rob Zombie, Howard, Joe Perry or whoever the fuck was on there, like whoever was at the party that was musicians basically. And Beth was cut out, but when Beth posted it, she put her picture back in, like she decided she wanted to be in it. So I love that aspect of it. It's fucking just transparent as shit.
I know how to play Ted Sarandos. I don't bother him at all. He writes me. And I barely write back. If I write back to him, I write like one sentence. Because everybody's sucking his balls to try to get a deal with Netflix.
Like you did. And this ties into an episode I just covered with Deborah on Patreon about Ron Zimmerman, who was a producer, actor, writer, all kinds of things, where he said Howard Stern cut him off email-wise when he told him, why don't you just ask me once in a while how I'm doing? And he said he would respond, when Howard would respond in an email, it was literally one sentence. And I'm thinking it's because he doesn't want anything to come back at him. If he says anything, divulges anything, gives anything, that's one thing. The other thing is he's afraid not creative. It's not going to be funny. So he just gives as little as possible every time to whoever it is.
Right. He's just keeping that contact in case he needs it if they become relevant in the future.
Bingo. Yep.
And I don't care if I have a deal with Netflix, so I'm not looking for anything from him. I'm probably the only guy in his life.
when he writes to you, he knows he doesn't get anything back. Like,
hold on. Did he not just say a few years back when Chris Rock signed to do those specials for like tens of millions of dollars post-divorce on Netflix? And he's like, where's my Netflix deal?
Right.
I wish
Never.
I'll have to bring that up next time.
Oh, by
Not
the way,
happening.
I have this project.
Yeah. He's never going to get pitched by me. It's like, Ted, you want to do business with me? Fine, but, come up with something. Because
What the fuck would you give him? Just out of curiosity, Raven, you're Ted Sarandos. What do you use him for?
Wig
Nothing.
plugs, hair systems,
Cat spackle.
of the future. Yeah, I got nothing.
Nothing. Me neither.
Zero.
Or Ted, like even his wife pitches him, because I saw Ted had they had a documentary on there about his wife's father.
Her father, huh?
Ted's wife's father was the Godfather of Harlem or something like that. Do you know what? You know that special, Godfather of Harlem or something?
Maybe it was interesting enough. I have no idea. My wife gets Netflix. I don't bother watching any of it.
I have Netflix, never watched that, but I just know that this is him star fucking. It's him name dropping.
Yep.
And yeah, they didn't buy the birthday show. There's nothing. He hasn't.
No.
He's done zilch as far as creativity or breaking new barriers. Nothing.
No.
It's the same old retread that we always get, and we're all like, "Is this a repeat? Is this pre-recorded? Why is Chris Wilding carrying the whole show? Why is there nothing new and hot and fresh, as Kayla would call it?"
Oh, God. Please. Next one is called Howard and Robin Memory Wiped and Horrible Conversation Flow. So,
I pretend to forget where he works. I'm like, what is your company again? Hulu? But Ted wrote me about Norm. He really liked Norm. Netflix had a Norm talk show for a while. I don't know what happened to it, but he goes, my favorite moment was Norm got in trouble, I think like on The View or one of those shows. And then he came on our show to explain it, and then he got in more trouble.
Oh, no.
No, he got in trouble on your show and then went on The View to explain it. You fucking idiot.
Remember that?
No,
Or do you think that's him deliberately trying to brush the blame away from himself?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
has left my memory. What did he do?
What the fuck did he do again? Wait. Oh, Ted's father-in-law is the Black Godfather. That's his name.
Okay, so you're talking about Norm, and then you go back to Ted Sarandos' father? You fucking idiot. Because you don't want... Because right there in the middle of it, I originally thought that was organic. No, he was a 79. He really didn't remember the order. Then it came... He must have got a note on the computer saying, don't bring it up. Go veer off course, because you're going to bring it back to he was on your show when he said Down syndrome.
His staff totally got a hold of him at that point and was like, nope, you can't talk about this. Just
go down
derail.
another road. Go down the brown road, which is what happened. 16. I want to see everyone naked.
One time.
Well, it's amazing to me. You want to see everyone naked.
I do. You know who I want to see naked right now? And this is going to be weird. I want to see Rebel Wilson naked.
Because she's lost weight?
I love weight loss. And
he wants to rip her apart and be like, oh, look at her saggy skin. Look at, this is deformed. That's deformed. Like on the 1,000-Pound Sisters, how, they are just train wrecks as far as, living. And Rebel Wilson, she did weight loss and claims to have done it naturally, but there's also stories in the gossip pages that it's all lipo, and same with Adele.
Yep.
Oh, see, we're right on track. The thing is, though, he doesn't care if it's lipo or not, because to him, it's all an experiment. He wants to see what would happen if he got lipo and how it would look on him. You got to remember, everything comes back to him. So seeing people who have lost weight, he kind of wants to see what's going to happen to him. Also, like, we're pretty sure Beefus gets lipo done on parts of her, or she's bulimic or anorexic, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which road that one is. It's just she's definitely a hot mess of body dysmorphia too.
Oh, yeah. We're going to skip the next clip because I think it's a dupe. But the next one is, I want to see Jen Psaki nude. Robin's clueless. And yes, Dino, I believe she is part Greek. I think she's got a grandfather who's Greek, but she's a ginger. So,
I want to see naked Jen Psaki.
She's a ginger, so that's not the Greek side, guys. I can tell you that much.
Jen Psaki, who's that?
She's the new Biden's press secretary. I think she's hot, and I thought I was the only one.
I know that name. I was like, she's not an actress.
You know why you don't recognize it? It's Jen Psaki, but there's silent P up front. It's a weird name. It's like if I spelled my name Howard Pstern. But
it was probably diminutive. It was given they made a diminutive of the surname because it was from the grandfather's side. It was probably like Psalmakis or something like that. They decided, okay, fine, we're gonna. It's like Papas. There's no Greek name Papas. There's no Greek really named Papas, guys. I'm sorry to inform you. It's probably like Papa Christodoulopoulos or some shit. Next clip is about Chris Rock and Rick Rubin maybe finding Wiggy a killjoy.
Yeah.
Drink.
So was that it with the Chris Rock statement?
Yeah, basically. I hope he's okay. Great guy.
Yeah.
I have a weird relationship with Chris. Not weird. It's fine.
Weird.
He likes our show.
Which is it?
I love having him on. I wish he'd come on more often, but
because we're fucking stuck for content.
I'd have him on every week. But
he tries to parcel it out. He doesn't want to wear out his welcome.
Yeah, a lot of comedians are like, I like to be prepared. I would just like him to come on and just talk because I've had conversations. I've had conversations with him off the air, and it's just entertaining as hell. I mean, when he's just thinking and just talking, he's got that kind of mind. But
now, when he says shit like that, I would love to have him on all the time, once a week. Of course he would, because he has no fucking content left. There's nothing he can do anymore. But what person would want to hear Chris Rock every fucking week?
I guess if he was going to be a guest chair for a week, it might be interesting if there was if they were going to talk about current stuff that was relevant in the news. Yeah, I would love to hear his take on stuff. But if they're going to go politics and COVID, no, I don't want it. I don't want another Hollywood point of view on any of that shit. Yeah. I want real comedy, like dumb stories. Yeah. I don't necessarily want a bunch of Karen stories,
dick jokes,
which is all that Bowie seems to know how to do.
Yeah.
But if they were able to incorporate some sports, some, I don't know, just dumb stuff that people are caught saying in the world, maybe. But if he had something, some funny takes on things, that might be good. I would love to have Chappelle for a week as a guest host.
Oh God, he'd be great. He would be good. He personally would be good, but on that show, oh God, I don't even know what they'd talk about because Chappelle's something. He's very observant about the world around him. He's got this tunnel vision.
If he would come on and talk about Kanye, Pete Davidson, and Kim, and what's going on there,
Patton Oswalt,
that might be interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are things to talk about, but we don't seem to get them on this show.
Nope.
But I think whenever we see each other, and it's not often, but I saw him at a party or something, and we gravitate to one another right away.
Yeah?
Yeah, we always want to see each other and talk to each other, but then for some reason we never get together. Or he came over to my apartment years ago.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we'll leave that there for the next little bit. Talent agent voice is back talking trans. Now we haven't heard him do the talent agent voice in quite a while, and it's basically a shittier version of his version of Johnny Fratto. So it's a real short clip.
These guys, Melissa, they're all talking about Hunter Schafer because she's got a decent rating on Mr. Skin.
Way to fuck it up.
2 stars.
First, 2 stars?
Mm-hmm.
First you get the creeps, then you get the Emmys, darling. That's my motto.
Oh, I can't fucking take that. His voices, any of his impressions are shit.
All right. So, again, he's the oldest teenager, right?
Yep.
He's talking about Hunter Schafer, who I now know is in Euphoria, which is a show with Zendaya and some other young people. My oldest child is watching this show. He's 17. And he told me don't let the 12-year-old watch it because of all the sex stuff.
Sure.
And it's gay, it's trans, it's a lot of, explicit oral sex, I guess you could say, and other stuff. I don't know. I only caught one episode.
Okay.
And apparently I spoiled it for him, but I'm sorry. I was just doing research. He asked me what I saw, and I'm like, you're not going to want to know. He's like, no, tell me. And I told him, I'm like, yeah. So I can now add this to the list of TV shows that Wiggy has watched. And I'm pretty sure he watches about 2,000 hours of TV a year.
Yeah.
Or videos or whatever, what have you. And that equates to the average work week for a person doing like an 8-hour work week for 50 weeks. And that's with 2 weeks of vacation added in. Right. So you're welcome. That's what our $1 Million Man does.
Where does
while
he fit
you're
in?
Working.
Where does he fit in all the time for Peloton? Next one, Smecky Melstein podcast jealousy. We can't get enough of this, guys, because eventually we are going to do an episode of him versus podcast because he's just a jealous little weasel.
Like, you got to have a nice voice. You got to have good diction. You got to have a delivery. You had to maybe be funny or witty, and then you had to suck the balls of some station manager or program director to get in on it, and it was just like a whole thing. And now everybody's got a microphone in their house, and their Chris Hardwick is on the radio essentially. It's just horrible. What a horrible.
Okay, so again, it's the same. I don't know that we need to go through all these, but bottom line is, it's just one of those things. We have a couple more of these, and I'm not gonna get too much into them because we've covered them. We've covered them before. You want to go into the Ralph stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. This next clip is called Ralph the Kept Boy to Sam Simon. So they're revisiting the whole Sam Ralph thing, and if they really want to. I don't know. I think they're flying too close to the sun with this as usual, but they have to do this every so often.
I don't know, dude. I'm never coming back. I got my own Mercedes. I got a Rolls Royce I drive around in, a Mercedes. Sam gave me the keys to Mercedes, and I'm here on the property. I've got my own cook.
Now, Sam spoiled Ralph. We know that. And no one, who was it? Someone said, no one treats anyone that well unless they're fucking them. And I agree.
Or you're doing a big service or favor for them that's not sexual, but what honestly could Ralph offer? What was he going to do for Sam other than anything sexual?
I mean, be an expediter of other nefarious things, I suppose.
Drugs.
But then do you really need Ralph for that? Unless it's just a trust issue. I'd say it's just sex.
If you're in LA, you got tons of people for that. Forget it.
But how many trustworthy people?
All right. Yeah, drugs and sex I'll go with.
Yep.
For 1,000.
Living in a
I'll take drugs and sex for 200, Alex.
house with millions of dollars of art.
Yeah. He was like, hey, I hit the fucking lottery here. I was like, I was happy for him. I was like, okay.
No, you weren't.
I'm not going to do anything to screw that up.
Nope.
But he somehow screwed it up. He was in. Well, Sam also.
If he was happy for him, he wouldn't be talking about it right now.
That's correct.
This is all being used as passive-aggressive bullshit to dig at Ralph.
Big time.
And make Ralph look like a piece of shit.
I wonder what the impetus was. I don't think there was a lead. I don't remember the lead up into this, but I think like everything else in this show, it's cyclical. Stuff will always come back up. That maybe Ralph being a bad house guest. And I mean, that's part of this day anyway, but that's later, I think.
Well, if he's paying Ralph out of 112 Productions, he's got to get his money's worth.
I guess so.
And if you're going to give somebody money, they're going to have to earn it somehow. So this is how he earns it.
All right, taking the hit.
Kind of killed the whole thing. I don't know. They had some sort of falling out. So
yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
I kind of do, but I won't get into it. It was
sure you do.
It was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish Ralph would call back in and talk about that because I would tell him Ralph blew it.
It was a Ralph mistake.
Absolutely.
Okay, so once again, guys, for those of you naysayers, why would forget Sam Simon. Forget him completely. Someone who's that much of a fuck up, that much of a lazy piece of shit, just despicable thief, drugger, horrible house guest, why do you keep them in your life? And what kind of person are you to have such an asshole as a best friend?
Well, one, protection, because they know too much about you.
Absolutely.
So you keep them on a short leash. And two, you're frantic for content and filler.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing like drudging up an old grudge. This comes under the same umbrella as Bowie.
Yes.
Where Bowie is used to be bashed and brought up many times for things that he says in the audiobook and whatever. They are just ridiculous. But that's our lazy zookeeper, King Baby Veal, who has to come up with content. So, hey, the wheel spun and Ralph came up this time.
Although you don't hear from Ralph too much, and in general, not as much as you used to, that's for sure. So who knows? Maybe even less money on. If Bowie's got a pay cut, Fred's got a pay cut, and everybody else is getting axed. Maybe Ralph had to take a pay cut at some point.
Yeah, and Ralph comes in about once a month, but we never see his real face. It's always like a standard picture of him, and he still looks like a grandmother on the Golden Girls. In the picture.
so even in the app, like you just see a picture, you don't see video of him.
No,
wow.
It'll just
not
be
the
like
app. Sorry, I mean the YouTube channel.
On the same thing.
Yeah,
but it'll just be like a phone, and then his picture.
Yeah,
and the phone will be blinking like as he's talking, but it's not him in real life.
No.
So God forbid we see his apartment or, how discombobulated he is at that hour of the morning because he's been up all night doing God knows what.
Yeah.
But
Molly.
yeah, I mean, he pretty much is sanctioned into the show once a month. Like at the end of January, it was him and Bobo with him giving Bobo some kind of judgment about not wanting to be in the whack pack. It was just fake and scripted. You could almost hear the pages turning as you were listening to it.
Oh, big time.
Ralph's his own worst enemy. I love that boy.
Kicked out of everything.
He does.
That's his beauty.
I remember exactly why. So Ralph's living in Sam's place. He's got the world by the fingertips. Okay? And then Ralph fucked it all up.
You blew it.
I mean, he's living in this guy's $1 billion estate, like guest houses, rolling hills, Beverly Hills. Like his house was so big, he had an animal sanctuary.
The other thing is Sam Simon's been dead how many years now? And this story matters to who? Nobody.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Just awful.
That's why I said it's
on the property.
Yeah.
Property.
Yeah.
And Ralph's living there and having use of two different expensive cars. Going out to dinners, hanging out with Norm.
Never even thinking to buy gas for the car. It's supposed to be filled when he returns it.
No, they had a guy who goes out and fills the car. Ralph was on Easy Street. But
this is what I'm saying. As a guest, you might fill up the car sometime. But not Ralph.
I bet you $10. It was Wiggy at that point when it was happening. He was in fear of his life that Sam could buy Ralph from him.
Yep.
And that he would, and first of all, don't think for a second that Ralph didn't tell Sam everything about Howard. But because they have this whole, connection, he knows to keep it quiet. Howard knows to keep it all quiet. And Sam has never been outed, to my knowledge. And neither has Wig, really, except for, certain angles. But go ahead.
Maybe it's possible Ralph was playing them off of each other to see who would be his keeper. Kind of, Sam offered me this. What can you offer me? Mm-hmm. And if Ralph leaves, so do the secrets. And then Sam has them. And he could write them into The Simpsons or who knows what he could do.
Well, he had no more involvement in The Simpsons after. So, but I mean, yes, he could absolutely turn them into something and sell them. Who knows? Because the other thing is, guys, when NT, like Crazy Days and Nights, NT gets his blinds, where do you think he fucking gets them from? Family members, exes, waiters, hotel valets, fucking concierges, bus boys, kept fucking women, kept boys, kept men, kept, sugar daddies, sugar mamas, baby mamas, everybody. So in Hollywood, anything's for sale. It's just a matter of the price. And the Wig is we're not going to count him as Hollywood, but, for lack of a better term, he's in some type of business. And For the right price, almost anybody will talk. It's just a matter of with Wig and Ralph. I wonder, man. I just wonder. And this is Carrie and I have been talking about this for ages. Like, who releases the tell-all? Who releases the one that's not going to get them in trouble because they can prove it, and they have whatever, a paper trail or something. But who's willing to, when he dies, go full on?
Well, my thinking is just to have like knowledge of what went on during the Gerardo sessions. When he took all the Polaroids of him in different outfits, and maybe there's a story there to tell.
Big
something
time.
on the private jet where he's looking lovingly into his eyes with the headphones. Most of us have seen those pictures. There's so much there that he was the boober to Wigarachi, and I want to know, but I don't. I think Ralph covets his money way too much to ever forego telling any of that, because there's got to be NDAs that are in place for like 50 years after his death.
Oh,
or 20 or 30, whatever it is.
Perpetuity.
That won't allow him to talk, but just sit back in his luxurious lifestyle doing God knows what.
Next clip, Ralph giving Howard a little shit about Sam.
You don't have any money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was just your friend because you were my friend. But that was my theory.
Well, of course,
he
you're
deemed
egotistical.
No, because he deemed you cool because you hung around with me.
Oh, that it? Okay, good.
I don't know. It just seemed weird to me that Sam was.
God, I have so many of these fucking clips where, they hang out with me, so they must be cool. And this is the same fucking. We have the same clip from 12 years ago where he asks, like, I think that's why Sam wanted him, because of me. Of course, it's a narcissist. But I think really it was more about the whole relationship being the exact same. Two sugar daddies competing with each other on some level with loads of money. But Sam Simon is like one of those guys with residual money, and Howard is a guy who's contractually given a lot of money to do really very little. Go ahead.
They're both old queens.
Yes.
That want someone younger, but Ralph isn't that much younger. He's like 10 years younger.
Right.
But Sam Simon has Wiggy at checkmate because he has more connections.
Yes.
He's out in LA. He's willing to let him take a Rolls fucking Royce around town.
Right.
He's giving him basically a company credit card and saying, go do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, yes.
Go shopping. Go do whatever. But you come home to me and you put that thong on and you dance around for me and you're my boy. There's something there. I swear to God.
You do the goodbye horses dance for me. Well, if that's the case, then again, it goes back to afraid he would take him from Howard, and then all those secrets would be like, I mean, I'm sure Sam knew anyway, and didn't really need Ralph to tell him anything, because the other thing in that particular, let's call it underworld, underpants, they like the stories must circulate like crazy amongst the circles that know. So whether it's Ralph or whether he gets it from Ralph or some fucking waiter or some cook or somebody, Richie Notar, anybody, someone talks. They just hope it never comes back to them. I'm certain Sam didn't need Ralph to know what was going on with him and Howard.
Well, maybe the Pink Mafia decided that Ralph was enough to go around for both of them, because
I guess
with Wiggy, being a Howard Hughes type in Pandemic, and Sam Simon was before the Pandemic, so it kind of seems to me like he could juggle both. God, juggle both balls at the same time. I hate to say that. I'm sorry, guys. It's all that comes to mind.
Jesus Christ.
This was the case with Ralph. Ralph was a playboy. He was going back and forth to one old queen to another.
Stamos. Swinging Stamos.
He had the Stamos connection. Yes. Yep. Oh, my God. What was Stamos thinking?
I have no idea.
He could pull so much better than Ralph.
Again, he wanted that connection to Howard. I mean, it is. I mean, it's maybe that's part of it. The thing is, I'm thinking also, what's it to Ralph to have a bunch of Polaroids given to his sister and tell her, the day I don't show up, the day I don't answer when you call me, you send these to the New York Post.
Oh, great.
And he could do the same with Sam. he could do the same with Sam easily, or they go to fucking CDAN, or they go wherever, and suddenly they're just there on the other, or the Daily Mail, or any one of these places, which is because otherwise, in a situation like this, the only thing that makes sense outside of paying them is to liquidate these people. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm probably already too far in to not sound like a conspiracy nut, but this stuff has happened, guys. It's happened in history. In the history of Hollywood, there's loads of examples of people being paid off, being fun. Look, Marilyn. Yeah. Marilyn was killed by the Kennedys. Oh no, we don't know the official autopsy. Fuck you. She was going to talk. It was pillow talk.
Right. Well, we'll never get the straight story no matter what, but we will.
We will.
Well, we can guess, and we hear lots of things, and you can put it together any way you want.
Yeah.
It's not going to change anything. It's just the world's fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. I tell my kids this all the time. I break the fourth wall, or I pull back the curtain, and I'm like, look, you're always being watched. You're always being listened to. Don't do anything stupid. And you're not going to change anything. The world's going to stay the same. It's going to do what it wants. You have to find your special place where you can find happiness. And that's the key to life.
Yep.
So close with you. But anyway, Sam took Ralph to Hawaii, and then Norm would be there with his family. So Ralph actually got to hang out with Norm.
And Norm was like that all the time. Like how he was in your show, that was Norm. You know what I mean? There was no airs or anything. You know how like Spade's always funny? That's how Norm was.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Norm told Ralph to fuck off as much as he could.
I'm certain. Yeah, absolutely. Another clip, guys, about being a fucking killjoy and party pooper when he's with these people.
Funny. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, Norm.
But Norm was Norm I never hung around with, but I'm glad to hear he was funny off the air too.
Yeah,
I'm a weirdo. I'm a complete bore off the air. People hate hanging with me. Like you heard Jimmy.
You've just explained the Chris Rock brush off and the Rick Rubin brush off.
Kimmel, I just sit and drink hot water and let people talk. I'm sick of talking by the time I'm hanging around with people. I just want to hear them talk. I'd rather learn something.
Hung out with you.
He's not sick of talking. He doesn't want to divulge anything. He doesn't want to fucking make a mistake and tell people shit that he doesn't want them to know. That's all it is. And he's afraid of sounding like a boring asshole, which is what he is. Yep.
I've hung out with you. You can be fun. You know that.
Yeah. When was I fun? Even like when we'd go to the strip clubs back in my single days, I wasn't that much fun. I was focused more on,
men.
Your mission.
Yeah, my mission.
He's always focused. Yeah, there's an objective.
I was like, let me get enough memories to put in my spank bank.
I was at Wayne. I was negotiating a Mercedes with Wayne Siegel to pay off a stripper. We've got pictures of me blowing Ralph.
No, I can remember just hanging out and doing shit and just fun, whatever, whatever was going on.
Yeah, that was like for 1 week after my divorce. Like for a week I was fun, and then I went back.
Wow. So what happened to the mad tear that lasted months and months and months, and then, that was a week.
We have to change the story to fit whatever content we're filling right now.
Fucking hell. It's the whole story his whole history is silly putty. We're getting into something now, guys, about Sam fronting money for Ralph to do an app, like put an app together. And Ralph, pardon the expression, queering the deal because he's a lazy fuck. And he was just being like Howard, a very demanding whatever, or just didn't want to put in the work necessary. And before Sam did die, I guess they did patch things up, but sorry, go ahead.
The app was about comic books.
Yeah.
And Sam put up the money and some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So between him and Ralph, they had created something, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So here we go.
Tell you why you blew it.
I really like Sam.
I didn't say you used the guy. Did I say that?
Well,
You're getting a little sensitive over there.
None of us said that.
I get sensitive sometimes.
But
human.
But guess what, Howard? He didn't take everything that was offered to him.
No, what a man. I said, let me be clear. The best.
And Robin knows full well what's going on there. She knows the story.
The thing that you had going on was Sam Simon, but you blew it at the end. You guys ended up not being friends. I was going to tell the story, with your permission, of course, why I think you blew it.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what your interpretation of that whole thing that went down is.
I told you at the time you blew it.
Yeah.
I tried to tell you. I wanted you to work that out.
Well, we sort of did, and it was right when he got sick. And
okay, I'm gonna let this one play through a little, guys. Just hold on.
Then his life got pretty weird because there were a lot of people around him who sort of separated him from people.
All right, but listen to me.
From you. Go ahead.
Well, everything is so sketchy. It's like sort of this, and then, he had some people. Nothing is definitive. There's no facts. There's no names. There's no time frames given.
No.
It's just him like, well, yeah, just shut the fuck up.
It's meandering the stories, and that's part of the reason why this show, really just started to suck, guys, because they weren't fully transparent about just anything. I mean, even when Robin, let's give an example, when Robin had that problem with Emily, and they kind of they hem and haw a little about it, but what would have been a great story is telling exactly what went down. It wouldn't be good to know certain things, perhaps, but at least a few more details, but they don't want to give them. Right.
Give us one side of the story.
Yes, absolutely. And instead, I didn't like she said that about you. Said what? What? Jesus Christ.
Forget all that. I'm going to tell you where you blew it.
Okay,
all right.
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell this story. It's not a big deal, but this is why Ralph drives me crazy, because I want him to be successful, and he had a real shot. So Ralph decided he was going to start an app, okay, with a bunch of guys. And it was like based on his love of comic books and various things that Ralph loves. And, it was like a magazine that people.
Okay. So like Wizard guys, I used to collect. So Wizard was a price guide at the time.
Would subscribe to. So I was like, I was happy for Ralph. All of a sudden, Sam, who's got tons of money, Simpsons money, he's a multimillionaire. He decided he liked what Ralph was up to and he was going to back him. And he put up the money for the app. So like this thing was going to really take off. It was going to, be a money.
That means Sam Simon priced it out, found out did the research, found out what it would cost, R&D, got the people involved. They created it basically, and they were waiting for the okay. And Ralph, who's a lazy piece of shit, grifting, drug dealing fucking asshole, decided, no, I don't want to be. That's too much work. And said, yeah.
Well said. That's exactly how I would have seen it.
Yep.
And I think Ralph might have even gone to Wiggy at some point in this and said, hey, I've got this great deal going on. And I'm sure he put a total stop on it. Just a dead stop. Yeah.
So you think Wiggy was the one who said, no, you're not doing this?
I'm pretty sure that he did not want Ralph making his own money off of Sam Simon's back, because then he wouldn't need Wiggy.
Well, this is presuming the app would have been successful, which we have no way of knowing. But let's let it play out.
Making proposition.
Which I wasn't looking for, by the way, too.
Yeah,
like, it just kind of wanted to do it. No, really. We were starting it.
No, I'm saying that's the problem with you. The best thing happens. Sam, who's a creative, is going to, not even some business asshole who never created anything. It's like Sam. So when Sam put up the money for the app, he wanted some input. So he started to give suggestions on what should happen. Ralph went nuts because Ralph wanted it to be fun. He didn't want it to turn into a whole big thing.
Okay, a little bit more, guys.
He wanted to be able to do what he wanted to do. I said, Ralph, you got a guy who's putting up real money. This could be something. So, and he's Sam, go along with his suggestions. And it was like stuff like he wanted a photo shoot of this or that. I'm like, do it. Do it.
And we did. I didn't have a problem with Sam's input.
No,
are you kidding me?
You were fucking bitching about all the changes he wanted to make, and you
sounds exactly like Ralph.
Wouldn't put up with it, and you left. And that's where you blew it. You should have been open. That's what I tried to tell you at the time.
Okay, so option 2, if Wiki didn't stop it, Ralph was too lazy to continue on with the hard work that was necessary to keep the app going. to constantly update it and research comic books and research Marvel or DC Universe.
Sure.
And find out, keep up with comments of people on the app, because people like that love to comment on that topic.
Oh, totally.
They have many opinions, and Ralph would be overwhelmed.
Yes.
He couldn't deal with the hate. He couldn't deal with people having greater opinions than himself, God forbid, or he'd just have to steal them somehow without, block those people and take the credit, I guess. But
responsibility and Ralph do not go hand in hand, guys. And the other thing is, of course, he would have had to, if it was successful, he would have had to be responsible for hiring a team to help him. And imagine he can't work with anybody. So,
no.
And I mean, I could see Sam. I don't know why Sam didn't know enough about Ralph not to fucking bother. So that's the kind of thing that kind of blows my mind. Yep.
I think Sam saw money here. He saw a gold mine.
Yeah.
And something to work with.
Sure.
But then he realized that, Ralph was a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
Who wasn't available when you needed him. You couldn't reach him because he was all drugged up or hungover from the night before.
Guaranteed.
And he still had the Wiggy job. I don't know what the Wiggy job entails anymore, other than calling into the show to line up like Marion from Brooklyn, Bobo, King of All Blacks. It really boggles my mind, but the whole thing with Sam, this was the main part of the Ralph, Sam, Wiggy talk that I wanted to get to. So I'm pretty sure Ralph either passed up money or sold his idea to Sam and maybe got some money from Sam in the will from this, or just being an F-boy for him.
Yeah, I'd say most likely the latter. So we'll continue with the next one. So essentially, this is all Wiggy's fault.
This whole thing with that, where it was a huge problem for me.
Why was
Sam got upset about? Remember, you did a shoot for us for the cover.
Yes, right? I wanted to help out.
Right, and he got a press person on this app, and then. Which is just a little app that's coming out once a month or so. You don't put, I just thought it was overkill, right? And
there's no app coming out once a month. It's something that has to constantly be updated, constantly.
Right. Then he wants to put out a press release with your name on it, saying that you shot the cover and it was going to be for immediate release. I mean, like a real press release.
Right. So you told him not to do it.
I told him not to do it. I got really upset about him. Because
this is where I think Wiggy put his foot down.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Right. You didn't want to use me.
Use. Yeah.
Right.
And he got really pissed about that. And so
but that wasn't the only thing. Sam accepted that.
That was a big thing, believe me. And I'm not blaming you, but it was.
Well, you are.
He is.
It was a big thing. It was like the
blaming me. All I did was take the pictures.
No. I'm not saying, but I did it because that was a wrong thing. And it just was like another thing that these guys wanted to do that I wasn't comfortable with.
Listen to him stammer and stutter
in fear.
Ralph is so afraid to say that Wiggy was the reason.
Yes.
So it was two things. It was both of the things I said. It was Wiggy putting his foot down, not putting his name on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Ralph too lazy to actually do any work or fight back and, argue with Howard like, hey, you can get a piece of this too if we put your name on it.
Or simply say to Sam, look, it's going to be me and you, and Howard's we can't involve him with anything because he's not going to be, he's not reliable. He doesn't want to do anything. So why do you think he wants to do this, especially if he's not going to get a piece of it? And as a favor, like if you're asking him to do it as a favor, fat chance. You got to pay him to do it. So
marbles up front.
Next clip is real short. Dude, it's you.
A series of things. But I guess
I
guess it was all over me.
I guess it was you, Howard.
I can't argue with Ralph on that one. Okay, maybe he was right.
A true girlfriend.
This clip is called Beth Pops In and Pops Right the Fuck Out.
Favorite shows is coming out second season on Netflix. I think it's Netflix. It's called Love on the Spec. Oh, hi, honey. What's up?
You should talk about that. Don't forget about that. I just want you to know that it's full on going on.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
The house is shaking upstairs.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
I hear it.
It's not too bad, right?
Well, yeah. But
No, I'm saying it's not too bad down here.
down here, not at all. But I still hear it down here. But you have your headphones on.
You haven't even heard the new Bang O'Clock?
She's talking about the construction, isn't she?
Right. The pillars being put in on property around them.
Yeah.
Song that Donnie V sings.
I haven't.
You need to hear it. It's about you. I wrote that for you.
Send it to me.
No, I'm going to play it. I'll play it at the end of the show. Okay. You're so gorgeous. I'm going to give you Bang O'Clock today. That's what I just decided. You're not only going to hear this song, but you're going to receive me today.
Oh yeah, you'll receive it all right. You'll receive the fucking check.
Who the fuck says receive me?
That's bad.
Fuck off, Wiggy.
Okay, next one is called 10-inch penis jealousy.
I think
you once
common knowledge.
You once told me you took a 10-inch penis, and I was like, wow. I don't think she's going to, after that, I don't think she's going to be looking for me. Didn't you take a 10-inch penis?
It might have been that big.
Yeah.
Whatever it was,
Wow.
it was too much.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
You'd like to take it. This next clip is called Gary Scared to Call Howard.
The NFL, Gary sent me a strange email. He said he wanted to call me over the summer and catch up, but he was afraid to because he was afraid he was bothering me.
When did he send you that? During the summer or lately?
During the summer. I mean, lately, but I guess he was thinking about calling me. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
And then a phone call never materialized?
Yeah. What are we going to catch up about?
He's probably too fucking busy with oxys. Yep.
Yeah, Fred, way to play clips over them talking. This is the worst.
A little jarring, didn't it?
It was. It's like the worst orchestrated show you've ever heard because it's either total silence or it's too much and people talking over each other all the time.
And don't the levels of the drops seem to be inordinately loud?
Well, yeah, they're of course. I mean, what else do you want from a podcast like this?
I guess. Jesus, I'll play ours, but it's not. We won't talk over them if I do play them.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was missing you. I was missing you.
Yeah, I would have done. You could have called me. It's no big deal.
I know. I mean, I got the impression that you wanted the summer off from everything.
But not
You
from
think
a
he was
friendly
like
phone
on a
call.
maternity leave break? He didn't want to hear from anybody at work.
You know,
I couldn't talk to him for 90 days. Exactly.
I don't know if it's bullshit, but someone was telling me about like you're not even allowed when someone's on maternity leave now. You're not allowed to call them if you're from work, or else.
Right.
Well, I don't know that that's true. Can you speak to that?
Maternity leave where I work, it's like once you leave, your work is given over to somebody else.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's no need to call in unless you have an investigation into something you did.
Okay.
And if you did some work and there was a question about your work, then yes, they will contact you.
Yeah.
But if you're on this show, there's obviously rules about not contacting people while on paternity or maternity leave.
Yeah.
And on this show, there's no women, so it's all paternity leave.
Yeah, of course.
It's just bullshit. And like the fact that Bowie is afraid to call him just tells you right there.
Oh,
like,
God,
he
yeah.
knows. He knows better.
Oh, yeah. And the next one is called Everyone Afraid of Wig.
It's weird. Like the guys were telling me you were terrified of, this was someone told me, that you were terrified of being in the crosshairs. That's a quote from you. Being in the crosshairs when the show came back. What was that about?
We were doing.
He knows because he knows that's exactly what's going to happen.
Summer school last summer, so we were guessing. We could only guess at what you're up to during the summer, and one of the guesses was that you had nobody to yell at, and that you might come back and just have stable.
Okay, we can only guess. So there you go. He's got a complete media blackout. The staff don't know. Gary doesn't know. And if your producer don't know what you're fucking about, well then, yeah, you don't have any contact with them clearly. And on top of that, as we said, he knows you don't fucking call him ever.
100%.
Yep.
Did it all for somebody. We weren't sure who it was going to be. We thought it might be me or JD, or it could be anybody.
Stuttering John and Gary used to joke about it. He was on the wrap-up show, and Gary goes, they used to be like, okay, spin the wheel. Who's going to get it today? We have no guests, so it's going to be one of us.
Right.
The next clip is called Dr. Sarno Garbage.
I was joking with somebody. I said I didn't want to tell you because I had my knees done, and you would go all Dr. Sarno on me and go, that's just the pain moving. But it's not.
Of course it is.
I mean,
of course it is.
And kudos to the guy I talked to and told that I said, please don't bring that up.
And
They know I'm just. They should just be helping us with our show at this point.
They totally could.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I told you that your pain was going to move, and it has. Now it's in your shoulders. It's
Gary, what's wrong with your shoulders if it's not phantom pain?
No, I got pain.
He doesn't want. I mean, pain is real. It's when Robin says phantom pain, it doesn't. All right. Hey, anyway,
it's not what it's not like
79. Even 79 can't keep track of his own bullshit.
No, I love it.
Guys, we're into the 21st of September now, and these are clips I did. This one's called "Send Any and All Button Men to Wilding's House and Just Open Fire, Please."
Caitlin called me all depressed. She's bummed out.
Wow. You know what I realized? Like, California's going to get the government they deserve, so fuck them. Fuck them.
So we have a Wilding fucking Caitlyn impression because you can't actually get Caitlyn Jenner on your fucking show. We're just going to play a few more seconds of that, and that's it.
Are you, you know where I think...
when the homeless overrun the governor's mansion and the whole stupid fucking state breaks off the side of the country and sinks like an anvil.
Oh, fuck. I just can't take him. I hate you, Wilding. Just please swallow some absinthe. Swallow some hemlock or something. I don't know. The next clip, guys, and that one, by the way, took that day, I think it was 35 or 30 minutes of, I can't remember exactly, but it was massive amount of time, that first bullshit, maybe longer.
It was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I have the notes. Yep.
Okay. So Wilding, I guess, earned his paycheck that day. The next one is called Near Miss with Nirvana. Plus, I was watching Seinfeld reruns. Didn't he say he never watched Seinfeld? We're talking about discovering Seinfeld in 2022.
He
2021.
Said his dad loved Seinfeld, but he never watched it.
That's right.
And now I guess all of a sudden he's watching it because he's got to kiss Jerry's ass out in the Hamptons during the summer.
That's right. Yeah. So
the funny, one more story. This is great. I never knew this.
And this is during a whole discussion where he decided he was going to go back to the grunge era and discuss 10, Pearl Jam's 10, Nirvana's Nevermind, and Bad Motorfinger by Soundgarden. And then he talked a little about his own attire at the time. Go ahead.
Yes, our oldest teenager decided that Nirvana, not Nirvana, Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana
had so much great music, and he spent another 30 minutes talking about music.
Oh, so Kurt Cobain of Nirvana was such a punk and a rebel and hated anything that reeked of commercial rock and roll. So when the album hit, they had to go over to England and promote the album. They were doing one of these TV shows.
Yeah, either probably Top of the Pops, where they require you to fucking lip sync, like a lot of those shows would. What I really fucking hated about this whole exchange was, like, how old was he in 91? Like, he was 40, 41, maybe? 39? Late
91?
Yeah, way too old to be dressing like grunge. But on an alternative station now, with the changeover in generations, like when hair metal went into the gutter, I think K-Rock went all alternative.
K-Rock did go alternative, and this became part of like him being the company man talking about music of that time.
But didn't really he didn't care about the music then, though. Like, I don't think he cares about the music now. No. So it's kind of stupid. Like, this many years later now, and it sounds like he's reading all this shit. That's the other thing. It's not something he cared about.
He was such a fan, but yet he struggles to remember names of the bands. Like, I dare him to name Chris Novoselic as the third member of Nirvana besides Dave Grohl and Kurt.
Right. Who was the original bassist of Soundgarden? Would he know? What label were they on before they got with A&M?
Mm-hmm. Name more songs beside Black Hole Sun that Soundgarden did.
Exactly.
Do you know about Alice in Chains? Did you ever hear of them? Can you name a couple of their songs?
Exactly. Did you own Green River? Did you have Superfuzz Big Muff? Did you listen to the Melvins? Anybody? No. Did you have Tad, 8-Way Santa? No. Fuck you.
And the guy on the TV show, the producer goes, "Look, Kurt, in order to make this sound good and everything, the band can't play live. You'll just sing to a backing track. And evidently you don't tell Kurt Cobain that because he...
Yeah, okay. So he basically it was piss take. Kurt Cobain decided he was going to like not really try to sing and make it obvious that he was lip syncing. The Sex Pistols did the same thing late in other years. They didn't even bother to match the lyrics. The next one, number 3, is called Pelican Productions because he was talking about Butch Vig and saying how much, he should be in productions.
See, I might just go right to producing. I'm at a crossroads in my musical career.
Could you imagine what everything would sound like a cover? Number 4, this one's called When Dead Singers Meet Dead Air.
At the same exact time, Soundgarden came out with that Bad Motorfinger album. That came out on September 24th.
He said that album as if to say like that injury he received that you can't pronounce, that kind of thing.
And it was like kind of mind blowing there too. Because Chris Cornell.
That's sorry guys, I forgot. That's on your bingo cards.
Arguably one of the best. I mean, he's definitely in the top 5 singers of all time, right?
Great singer, yeah.
But Bad Motorfinger was their 3rd album, but this one broke through.
Drink.
Some great songs on there.
Name one. Name one other than he goes on to talk about Outshined, but that was it. He didn't bother with the rest of it.
And that had to be prompted by the staff. My God.
Yes.
He's the oldest geriatric teenager I've ever seen with like no recall of anything. Anything.
You'd think, that's the thing. As a DJ, you'd think he'd know more about what he was playing because stuff's getting like, you get promo copies, you get swag, you get guests come in that are, going to tell, and you want to know about your craft. He didn't give a fuck, ever.
Or you have a song that really sticks with you, that meant something.
Right.
But no, we get none of that.
No. In number 5, this is going to be tough for me because I have my mic caps. Incontrovertible proof that Wig is a 79 and doesn't even listen to himself.
Because then stores became full of that same thing. You would walk into a store and it was shorts and boots and flannel shirts.
Even I started wearing it and it was not pretty. Ralph started dressing me back then and he would dress me in grunge. I was like... I look like I just rolled out of bed.
That's the whole point of the look.
Ralph was 5 years behind in the music scene grunge.
Yes. Yeah.
With dressing him. If you look at pictures and you look at the dates.
Yeah. He's not grunge until 95.
Oh, even later.
Yeah.
Like 97, 98, 99, 2000.
Yeah, he was still rocking like the fucking poodle dude, like this, like fruity, hairband thing in 92. When you just look at the interview show we mentioned, 92, 93, by that point, grunge was well into the zeitgeist. I mean, Sub Pop was selling fucking albums of bands that didn't sell a nickel to fucking big companies.
Those wrinkled cargo green pants that he had that were sitting in the corner for like a week. And then he wore with like a complimentary wrinkled orange shirt.
Oh, God.
That just, so like, cringy.
Granted, at least he knows now he looked like shit, but then that's easy because everything looks like shit on him. This next clip is number 6. He wishes it was much more, Robin.
How long have we been in?
Yesterday, I thought about that after the show. You said, it's been 2 years since I've seen you in person.
Yep.
That's the
almost
friendship.
Yeah.
Next clip, guys. No, the $120 million ISDN line on display.
The rest of the world seems to be seeing each other just fine. You and I are locked up in our basement and our whole show. I don't know what's going on, but...
You know what's going to happen is everybody else we're going to be left here all by ourselves. We've taken care of ourselves.
Said by a true narcissist to another true narcissist.
Completely.
We had our usual... have a meeting every Wednesday afternoon after the show. And I said, hey, I'm starting to feel a little weird. Like, how is like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, and like all these others, how are they all in production?
Why do they have audiences?
Why are we still hiding in our basements?
Kimball.
And everyone's like...
they're performing in front of audiences, right?
Yeah, and then everyone says
because they're not afraid of their own shadow, and because they want to have human contact. You fucking human impersonator.
And surprise, they're still alive.
Yeah, and they care about their jobs. They actually do care about their work and how it appears, and also life does eventually have to go on. Sorry, Howard.
Well, do you want to go into the Sirius XM building and get on an elevator and be around people? And I go, no.
Thank you. You
No,
just cured
okay.
me of that feeling.
Yeah.
I was going to say fire his psychiatrist. No, I'm going to say shoot his psychiatrist.
Yeah.
it never worked.
The elevator he's on doesn't have anybody but his staff.
That's true.
He's all by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck is he worried about? He can wipe his own shit down. He can clean up his own tissues and toothpicks. Or, you know what? Just leave him in a pile in the corner.
Yep, absolutely. Like kindling. Number 8, Bowie finally realizes his true value to the show.
I don't know. Gary Delabate says he doesn't want to come back into the city for work, but then he goes to Broadway and watches Bruce Springsteen, and he's sitting in a crowded
does
theater.
These things. Yeah, he's been to a concert. He's been.
Go figure. Bowie wants to go see a concert, but he doesn't want to see your fucking ass.
Yeah. That fits.
He just doesn't want to go to work. That's where he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? He went to the theater and he didn't even wear a mask. He just sat there without his mask on. He wore it in and then he took his mask off. No.
Bowie, that's a stoning offense if you were in studio, but now since you're home, I guess it's fine.
So he's got people watching Bowie while he's at a Broadway show?
Yeah.
Keeping tabs on him? Okay.
Of course. Yep.
Oh. But then he goes, I don't think we should go back to work. I'm telling you, it's dangerous. You know what it is? He told a lot of people, he goes, I like working from home so much more because I don't have Jason looking at me, eating my locks and eating.
So Bowie knows, like, there's people informing on him constantly. There always have been. I mean, that's nothing new, really.
My pretzels.
Yeah. Bowie's never been happier either. He doesn't have to do all the work. He doesn't have to look busy. He can take naps. He can pop oxys. He can drink scotch. He can smoke Buddha anytime he wants. What the fuck? I'd love it too.
Now he's blunt man.
I eat my
his
pistachios,
plantain chips.
my plantain chips, and no one's commenting on me, and no one did that. I'm like, dude, you missed the point of your value on this show. You're useless to me sitting in your house. If you're eating plantain
put somebody
chips,
in there watching you.
yeah, you're the guy we goof on.
Oh, that's all I did. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was my only value.
No, you do a lot of things, but those things other people can do.
Wow.
Now they have to make up scripted shit to mock Bowie on, like his audiobook about him. Like, everybody knows I love Bruce Springsteen. Yeah. But Wiggy takes it out of context. Mm-hmm. Where the whole book he talked about Bruce, and then Wiggy just takes the one clip at the end.
Yeah.
And is like, how do we all know that? And Bowie actually comes on and is like, yeah, well, I mentioned it pretty much the whole book. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. So, like, there's 30 minutes of content gone.
Yeah.
Useless, meant nothing.
Yeah.
But that's the show we get. And you guys who have canceled, you are so blessed.
Yeah.
You are welcome. Don't regret one thing. You're right on target. And those of you still listening, join us, make comments, Facebook thread live every morning. He's live. We'll be there for you.
Yeah, just especially for those new joiners, don't be strangers. By all means, when there's a mockery thread, join in, please. We understand people have jobs certain times or whatever, they're not able to. But those of you who are able to, and you have a subscription still, and you're unfortunately blessed with volume, that works. And your speakers are installed. Join us. It's a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun. Next clip is called "King of All Shitty Analogies" makes another appearance.
Oh.
I wish I had a Cameron guy. I mean, I wonder how many hours a day he's actually working.
A lot.
Come on.
Here's the thing. This is why you're such a dick about this. You don't fucking wonder about anybody else. A lot, dude. I work. What do you mean?
No, I only worry about you.
I know.
You're my focus.
Worry about others. Listen.
I'm the boss. I don't have to worry about others. I worry about you. You're the one who pops in my mind. I go, I wonder what Gary's doing.
I work plenty fucking hard.
It's rare for Gary to give him a little bit of stick these days, but I have a feeling that's drug enhanced, not Lexapro, but Oxy. Gary saying "fuck you" too, and I don't blame him at this point in his life. I think if anybody goes postal in that place when they do go back, if they ever go back, it's Gary.
I agree. Gary had a moment to himself where he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna fight back," and he called him a dick. And he said, I work plenty hard. So good for you. But guess what? You're still shackled to this show, and he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants.
And the problem is he has a history of not being a useless tit on the show. So he kind of earns this anyway.
Hard as anybody.
You know
else
when I get angry? Like when I see you on Facebook with all your trips and, you and Mary are everywhere.
We haven't been anywhere. We have not gone. We went on a family vacation. So
Wig's being a dick, and he's looking up like pictures of their old vacations they've had and bringing that up as if they've been doing it during the pandemic, which I'm certain they haven't. That's just stupidity.
No, I tend to disagree with you that I think Gary is taking trips.
What, day trip? Like I'm saying within the country, like domestic drives somewhere?
Possible flights.
Well, maybe. I mean, it could be, but Gary's going to refute it here.
We're not out a lot.
You don't go anywhere. We're on family vacation.
Right, but I'm saying.
What do you mean? How do you say I haven't been? That's like Caitlyn Jenner saying
we haven't been anywhere.
I'm pro-choice, but I'm also against abortion.
The same thing.
He was okay with Wilding going to South America.
Wasn't it Panama?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I've lost track because I really didn't want to know that much. Yeah, it was
Wilding.
Yeah, him going to see his lover who he's now broken up with, but we don't even know if it was real to begin with. But he was okay with him going down there with like 3 masks on.
Yep.
But God forbid, do we take a flight to Florida or South Carolina or wherever he's going?
Right, because Wilding sucks his dick, literally.
Giving
10.
more content. Yeah, Wilding gives more content than Bowie.
That's right. Number 10, R2 Zvi2 almost short circuits answering Bowie's question about fun.
I'm 24 hours a day. I'm running around this house working, trying to come up with shit for this show. And I just don't want to see Gary's hosting a charity auction.
But Howard, here's the thing for me. Even when you're
he told me he gets a rush out of doing it. He gets a rush.
I enjoy being.
He enjoys it. He likes being on stage.
Even when you're not working, you're miserable.
I'm working.
It's true.
Like
no, when I'm not working, when I'm doing a leisure activity, all of a sudden I have a pad next to me and I'm writing shit down.
Yeah, right.
Lies.
Did you do? I have a question for you. Did you have? This is no jokes aside. What did you do this summer that brought you any joy at any point this summer? Like, what was the most fun thing you did this summer?
My kids visited me.
Well, that's nice.
And I had a good time with them, actually.
Drink.
So you had fun.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yeah.
Great story.
That was the most joyous you ever heard. Okay. Number 11, why Springsteen ain't coming in.
All right, Michael.
Why isn't Bruce? Wait, Howard, I have a question.
Okay.
The question is this. Why isn't Bruce Springsteen coming on the show? Why isn't he sitting down for an interview on the show instead of Gorilla?
I'll tell you what.
And if I could have clipped Rappaport completely out of this fucking breakdown, I would have, guys, but I had to leave that question in. I apologize.
Why?
Falling over him on Broadway.
You can't blame Gary for that. It's me. I fucked that up, but that's all. Hey, Michael, I got to go anyway. Go. Well, let's say I said some things that I think insulted Bruce, and I don't want to get into it.
Well, Gary's up his ass so much. If Gary's up his ass so much, he should be able to straighten it out. That's what a producer does.
And that's what I'm working on.
I hear you.
That's funny that he at least admitted that it's his fuck up.
I'm thinking that, excuse me, that Wiggy did something at a Hamptons party that turned off Bruce, or he said something to Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Possibly who's another Jerseyite that might have been in contact with Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
And badmouthed him in some sort of way, or said something maybe about him and his wife Patty.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure. It could be a million things that he said.
Oh God, he mocked so many things, and the tour banter and stuff, the concert banter, between song stuff. Number 12, Wiggy still has a problem. He has a problem with saying unrequited love. He can't pronounce it.
I mean, this album is so great, but Eddie said this song, he doesn't talk about this song because it's so personal. that it's about unrequited love. That's like where you're hot for a chick, but she won't look at you, right?
That's right. She doesn't want anything to do with you.
Oh man,
She wants to be your friend. That's the
I could
worst.
write. Yeah. Oh, I have so many instances like that I could have written a whole album about unrequited love. I hate unrequited love. I remember in high school,
requited
serenading the meat.
Why are you saying
How do you say it? How do you say it?
Requited love.
Yeah, I knew that. I wanted to see if you caught it. It's unrequited love. What's the matter with you? Took you like 10 minutes to figure that out, to catch me.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but I still say he's a 79 and he didn't know he was saying it. Number 13, Wiggy's still waiting to graduate from high school.
I had a whole bunch of unrequited love. God, I had crushes on everybody.
He still can't say it even after he's been corrected. He now emphasizes it harder.
He tries not to add syllables to stuff like Zeppelin, Abelo, requited.
Yes.
But
nobody had
inevitable.
No, yeah, it's like you can't hold back the dawn, guys.
Crush on me. I had a few people, but very few.
I was going to say there probably were people you wouldn't have even suspected, but you never noticed them.
Yeah, you know what I made? I made a big mistake in high school. Here's how I should have played high school. First of all, I should have been playing guitar. That's number one. Number two,
Right.
that was the big problem.
Yeah, that was it.
Not the guy whose body's attached to the arms of that guitar.
I should have been taking karate so I could beat up some people and look like, like do that thing in high school where some kid starts goofing on you and then you beat the shit out of him, like what Spider-Man does. Remember?
Okay. This next one, guys, is a plug for Trojans, which is an admitted plug, but it's maybe the worst pitch ever.
I love wearing
Trojan
a condom.
Man.
I prefer that. Now you're going to think I'm doing a bit because it's a commercial, but I prefer wearing a condom than going in bareback. And people are like, what? But I find them very useful, especially the lubrication, because I've had a hard time in my life getting a woman lubricated.
We know.
Yeah. Okay.
Does he I have this image. Does he think that on the tip of every Trojan rubber is a big, what's his name? Ham Hands Bill, like chunk of Vaseline. Is there? it's not like he put on that. If you have a problem getting through a woman's box, one condom with a bit of lube on it ain't gonna cut it.
Well, Lord knows he could never manually get a woman excited to the point, he didn't know what to do down there.
I mean,
he couldn't kiss her. He couldn't finger her. I hate to be crass. I'm sorry.
I have that. I still have the video of him needing to shave a woman in the studio, shave her vagina. She came in as one of two sisters, and he goes, "I think I'm going to throw up."
Right. Nothing about women turns him on ever. It's all fake and acted. Oh God.
Yeah. Exactly. So number 15, guys, scratch off mind blowing on your bingo card.
60s, 70s was just like a renaissance because all this shit was being invented. Rock and roll was being it was mind blowing what was going on. And then
bing. Okay.
Oh God. He's forever in the 60s and 70s. Can we just stop it?
It's brutal.
Mercy, can you tell Wiggy to stop living in the 60s and 70s? Because it's driving us nuts.
It is nuts, yeah. The next one, let's use a fake caller to crowbar in some nonsense about 12-year-old boy Shveen fetishes. Now, this clip was 45 minutes long, guys. 45 minutes, I'm kind of averaging. It was a caller that was on the air to talk about, sex education and her kid, but it was clearly a back office staffer. And I only clipped about 23 seconds of one clip, so this is really short.
This particular time, I borrowed his phone to use it for something, and when I went to his internet and I saw all these open pages of Pornhub, I tried to watch one, and I couldn't. I was like, oh my God, my son's one. And it was Stepbrother, and I couldn't even read the full title. I was just like, oh Lord.
The giveaway, guys, beyond the length, was Stepbrother. When she says Stepbrother, that's right up his alley. Stepsister porn. He's been going on about that for years. The next clip is called 25 whole minutes of this nonsense, and that's the last of it.
God, if my mother talked to me about my masturbation, I would have fucking hung myself. Are you kidding? You better be careful with all that shit, Erica, because
well, I have a friend who told her sons that masturbation was good because she thought of it as a muscle, and the more you masturbate, the bigger it would get. Now,
oh my God.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what she told her children.
Howard, I have to discuss something with you right now.
What is it, Mom?
Okay, so just multiply that, guys, by 25, 30 minutes.
And it's a setup for him to use the mom voice.
Yeah, completely. And again, guys, I wanted to get rid of that as much as I could, but only a little. I know I said, guys, number 18, I know I said no more wilding and no more scat, but I didn't count on this shit.
And let me tell you this. You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh.
You'd never get over it.
Are you ready to renew your subscriptions, guys, or what? Like, just tell me. Just let me know. Yeah, exactly.
Pass.
The next one, 19, Ronnie gets on the phone, and I didn't even clip. I didn't want to clip most of it because, again, it was all just. He does eventually wish Ronnie well and glad he's happy, blah, blah, blah. But then he still had to insert some, don't forget who gave you this, Ronnie.
You know what it is? If I go back 3 steps, it had nothing to do with you. It's 5 steps that gets me in trouble.
Yeah, but I met other guys at Sirius, and I'm not really good friends with them.
Yeah, but
you don't make friends with everybody you meet, Ronnie.
I understood, Robin. That's what I'm trying to say.
My point is,
we just hit it off. That's all.
Kurt Busch isn't hanging out with Ronnie, the regular limo driver from Queens. You know, you.
Okay, here we go, guys.
You would never met a regular limo driver from Queens now anymore either.
No, but you became safe to him because you're kind of a celebrity on the show. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I mean, come on.
I'm going to actually see him this weekend because they had the races here. It'll be another party weekend.
I wanted to ask you, could you hear the relaxation in Ronnie's voice being there and not having to be at the fucking show anymore?
Right. Just as he says, like, I'm about to tell you, he kind of has that more balls in his voice than possibly in the past, where he was pressured and stuck in that Eastern, Northeastern, got to keep moving fast, talking fast. Like, he's slowed down a bit. And it's great to see Ronnie finally relaxing and retirement with a new attitude, hopefully.
Yep, exactly.
We'll
Number 20, Beefus almost escapes the clutches of King Shithead.
Howard, have you been back in this city?
Yeah, once or twice for like doctor appointments. Beth had to go to the city today, so I didn't like that. I don't like when she leaves me. I need supervision.
Is she there for an overnight or is she coming back?
No, she's coming back. She had an appointment.
I see.
Routine stuff. Nothing crazy.
Nothing. Yeah. No emergency.
It's very upsetting.
Situation.
I don't like when she leaves.
At least supervision like kids in a bouncy house. Go ahead.
What kind of fucking supervision does this guy need at 68?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Slavery. Exactly. No, what did you know damn well what it is, because we only have one clip left. It's damn well that he didn't. The longer she goes out, the more he thinks she's up to something. Like she's seeing somebody, and if she does go out, the driver is going to report back to him anyway. So if she's going to have to like change 20 cars, go fuck some fucking massage guy, and then come back with the same driver, like pick me up at this time.
Well, I also have thoughts based on Dame Bethman. That she goes to the veterinarian's office and has either a vet tech or a vet there that maybe she's hooking up with in some kind of lesbian thing. So, yeah, he doesn't want her out. He doesn't want supervision for him. He wants it for her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Projection alert.
Right. Well, we don't know if she's fucking around on him. We only know that she said she cheated on every guy she ever dated before Howard. So take it as you wish, guys. The last one's called The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Her being there all the time.
Oh, my God. We were in bed last night holding hands and talking about how we're so happy we found each other. How many times that happened after 20 years together? That's pretty good.
I hope it happens to people. They're staying together anyway.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen to people. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. But I'm very, very happy with my marriage.
Everybody says that. Go ahead.
All right. So I've sent you a clip, which we'll play in the future, of him trying to make amends to her for not doing New Year's Eve calls. Yeah. And he talks about doing the thing he hates the most, which is making beds. Beds, plural.
Plural.
Not bed, which would make sense if you were sleeping with your wife, but it's beds. So
Or
we had to make his bed and her bed.
Which would
And
also
go ahead.
which would make sense if they had kids making beds.
Oh, yeah.
That would make sense too.
And-
But
Well, we know he's not making Consuela's bed or Jose's bed. So how many beds does he have to make and why?
yes, if you're sleeping in the same room, which again, we don't know, guys. We need ears from inside Castle Gayskull.
Well, good.
To be honest. Yeah, I like marriage. So.
He says, I like chocolate. I like marriage. I like music.
I like pussy.
Well, it would be terrible if you hated it and you were still there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remove any obstacles to our happiness. Like yesterday, I needed some help with something and Beth was getting irritated. So I'm like, I'll hire someone to do that.
Yeah, stop that. Stop making things irritating.
One obstacle is homosexuality. Yeah, go ahead.
You took it right out of my mouth. Keep going.
This is only a few seconds.
Yeah, right. Like I'll just hire someone.
Tutor.
Okay,
King
guys.
of all tutors.
Guys, we are finished this particular breakdown. No title yet, as yet undetermined, but I'll come up with a Photoshop. Any shout outs, my dear, before we wrap this one up?
Thank you to all the great people who cover for me when Kayla is not available in the live thread. Kayla, God bless you and your family. Hope all is well. And just thanks for being such a cool group of people at Quite Frankly. We appreciate you. We love you. Patreon, you're awesome. Keep it up, guys. And we'll do our best. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you, guys. Good. We love you. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Summer will be here before you know it. We love you. Take care.
People are coming to the house. My wife is upstairs crying. I think you should tell your godfather what everybody else seems to know. I want all inquiries made. I want no acts of vengeance. I want you to call all the heads of the five families.
No.
To